sensitive person. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so this is by Dr. Elaine, Aron, bestseller. Highly sensitive person. Anybody heard of it? It's an amazing concept. I'm gonna do a whole video on just this concept because it is so important to me, and it is so important to the work that I do. I myself am a psychologist, and I work with kiddos as well, children, and I end up seeing a lot of highly sensitive kids because those are the ones that really end up needing therapy. Not because they're broken, not because they're crazy, but just because the subtitle of this book is How to Thrive When the World Overwhelms You. And that is exactly what happens, right? Because the highly sensitive person is highly sensitive to everything, to noise, to sound, to slights, to people forgetting something, to you forgetting something, if you're a perfectionist, to being imperfect. So many solid, amazing points that she makes in this book about like what it's like to be a highly sensitive person, that if you are a highly sensitive person, you will feel so seen when you read it. She also talks about how it's important that you take care of yourself while you read this book, because you can become overwhelmed realizing for the first time, like, oh, there's a name for this thing, like, oh, somebody has studied this thing, like, oh, somebody sees me and recognizes that I'm not crazy. It's just a thing that some people are more sensitive than other people. And so she talks about, yeah, like that you might experience a lot of feelings if that's who you are, but that this book is also a good book if you're in a relationship with a highly sensitive person. Oh my God, it can be really hard to be in a relationship with one of us. Yes, I myself am a highly sensitive person. I don't know if that was obvious, but if it wasn't, I am. I self-proclaim. And let's see. Let me just open up and see if there's any nuggets. Okay, so she talks about different kinds of highly sensitive people. Oh no, she's talking about, I'm very into neuro stuff actually. So I'll probably do some talks about some neurological stuff as well. I'm very interested how neurological studies are really kind of backing up and finding things to be true that more psychodynamic kind of theories kind of intuited. But anyway, I want to say more about that in another video as well, so stay tuned. But so she's talking about that there are two systems in the brain, and that these two that create sensitivity, one system is the behavioral activation or approach or facilitation system. It's hooked up to the parts of the brain that take in messages from the senses and send out orders to get the limbs moving. This system is designed to move us towards things, right? Okay, so the behavioral activation moves us towards things. Especially new ones. It's probably meant to keep us eagerly searching for the good things in life, like fresh food and companionship, all of which we need for survival. Okay, so then there is the other system, which is the behavioral inhibition system, or a withdrawal or avoidance system. You can tell by the name which is the good one according to our culture. This system is said to move us away from things, making us attentive to dangers. It makes us alert, cautious, and watchful for signs. Not surprisingly, the system is hooked up to all the parts of the brain. Some researcher noted to be more active in inhibited children. So that's a study that she talks about earlier. So I found that really interesting, like just the way the brain works. And I have here, one could say there is a constant power struggle between the advisor and the impulsive, expansive warrior within the person. Okay, so the two different parts of ourselves, there is a constant struggle between those two things. And so probably with a highly sensitive person, that struggle is more pronounced. But she does talk a lot about how you as a highly sensitive person can also kind of over shelter yourself or be over sheltered by your parents, like because of your sensitivity. And that's actually not, like, respecting your sensitivity does not mean not exposing yourself to new things or to challenges or to like move outside of your comfort zone. And that actually it's really, like anything else, it is a balancing act, right? It is a balancing act between taking care of yourself and getting the rest you need and taking things slow when you need to go slow when you're approaching a new activity, but not avoiding it completely, and trying new things that challenge you. I just like, again, kind of like what I was saying before, kind of like I was saying that these things start to overlap with each other and start to kind of interweave. The right amount of stress is actually what you need, right? And so that's different for every person, that's different for every situation. I'm sorry, I don't have a magic, I don't know, formula. Maybe there is a formula, actually. Let me know. Does somebody have a formula to figure out what is the right amount of stress that your telomeres stay long and resilient, and you as a highly sensitive person are growing your muscle for being able to tolerate new challenges while also respecting who you are as a person? Tell me. Okay, so enough of that book for now.